What's going on, y'all? Excuse the brightness. It's bright in the back. You see that my bald head, my hair is growing back. This shit looks awful. Why does it look awful? Does it look awful because society told y'all that getting old is an awful thing? And that's why when you see somebody who's fortunate enough to live as long as I have, you know what I mean, who have their hair like this, you look at it as being awful. Why is that? You know? At any rate, I want to talk. I want to do some talking and doing some thinking, man. Just from these past few weeks, these past couple months now, with this virus situation. And a lot of people speculate and postulate that some individuals created the virus as a means of population control. You know, it was something that was purposely put out to the public in order to thin the herd. This is what some individuals are saying. And then they say they're trying to develop this vaccine to make you immune to the virus. And they're saying the same individuals that created the vaccine, the same individuals that created the virus that kills you are developing a vaccine which ultimately kills you. If you just take out all emotions, right? And if you just look at this shit completely objectively, you see how that makes absolutely no sense. See how that doesn't make any sense? It's like I'm not trying to get to a conclusion or anything like that with this particular post. I'm just trying to get you guys to think and open up your minds in order to possibly make better decisions in the future instead of just jumping to the gun and believing the first thing that you hear. So somebody went to a lab, right, and they created a virus in order to kill human beings, right? And so they create a vaccine that's supposed to help you from the virus, but that vaccine in turn kills you too. I'm not saying everybody says this, but when I look at that, that just sounds like some lose-lose defeatist bullshit. And to me, it's a lot of trouble to go through. You know what I mean? I feel like even with the whole idea of the vaccine being, virus and vaccine both start with a V, so I'm gonna just start saying disease instead of saying virus, just so I don't confuse the two words. Even if you said he created this disease in order for population control, one, in the grand scheme of things, they started to figure out this shit only killed about 0.03% of people. But, like I said before, we have social media. So if somebody close to us passes away, 15, 20 years ago, we didn't have a vehicle. We didn't have the tools to share it with everybody, just to show that someone passed away. Maybe a couple phone calls, what have you. But you didn't have 5,000 Facebook friends where any post that you put up, 5,000 people could see it simultaneously. And if your page is open, if you have a public page, even more people can see that. So not only are numbers being inflated, but the fact that people are dying is it's being magnified that much more. You know what I'm saying? Times 1,000. Scratch all that. But in the grand scheme of things, if you really look at it, they're starting to realize a lot more people have antibodies than they realize. You know what I'm saying? And a lot more people are affected by this, or have been affected, or have gotten over this particular situation than they originally realized. So what does that mean? That means that the death count or the mortality rate is actually a lot lower than they originally predicted, like 10 times lower, something crazy. So if they was really trying to do some population control, man, this disease that they created is relatively weak. The only thing this disease got going for itself to make it seem greater than what it actually is social media. Just like, this disease is like, you know what I mean? Yes, people are dying. Yes, it's sad. Yes, it's highly contagious. But this disease is like the fat bitch in high school that got no attention, right? You understand? And she grew up as an adult, pre-social media. And then once she became an adult, and she got some filters, she got about 10,000 followers, she started showing her ass cheeks and shit. She's getting all this attention. Why? Because she has the technology to push herself forward for a lot more people to see her. So to me, if they was trying to come up with something effective to really like show some type of population control, 0.03% in the grand scheme of things is nothing, man. Until we see 20, 30, 40 million people dying, man. But anyway, I digress from that. Do I think it was a biological weapon? I don't think it's killing enough people for me to believe that it was a biological weapon. But whatever. The point I'm trying to make, and let's get back on topic because I find myself starting to stray into a tangent. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really not trying to get on. I'll do that in another video. Is that why would they create the disease, right, that kills you, and then create the vaccine to that disease that kills you? That doesn't make sense to me. You mean to tell me that all doctors are sinister? You mean to tell me that everybody in medicine is evil? Every single person in medicine is evil. Every single person involved in medicinal science is a sinister motherfucker that's just trying to fatten their pockets. I'm not cynical like that, man. I don't believe it. I feel like there are some good people out there. Who they are, not 100% sure. But I can tell you this, more times than not, when it's a popular trend of thought, you know, when they're not really giving you, what's the word I'm looking for? When they're basically just telling, like arbitrarily telling you to do something and not really like taking any other side's of a point of view. And if you're being shamed and ostracized because you want to look at an alternative way of taking care of yourself through the situation, a lot of times the people that are shaming you and putting you down make you feel bad for yourself just to look at something in a different, like, holistic way. A lot of times they're part of the machine, man. When people are forcing you and shaming you to feel a certain way, make you feel bad about yourself because you don't want to see something in the way that the government, you know what I'm saying, or the majority public is telling you what to believe. There lies your answer. When you have individuals getting all emotional and ready to fight, calling you names and acting uncouth over shit that they can't prove. Oh, you're not a doctor. You don't have expertise. So how could you believe this? You're not a doctor and you don't have expertise. So how could you believe that too? We got a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers who have no type of medical history whatsoever, arguing with each other, ready to fight, ready to do war, and shaming each other and shit. It makes absolutely no sense, man. The vaccine, will I take it? Are all vaccines evil? Are all vaccines bad? They've shown that you can't tell me that every single vaccine that every doctor ever invented is bad for humanity. You know? And then, what do you determine is good from doctors? That's another question. Vaccines are bad, but this treatment is good. Who determines that? I guess what determines it is the side effects and you know, the effects of people whenever they take whatever type of treatment or therapy that they take. I guess that is what you use as a determining factor. But even in that, when you see like empirical data, or when you read charts and graphs and shit like that, how do you know how real and how do you know how real and how true that is, man? How trustworthy that is, rather. If this COVID-19 situation taught me anything, man, it's like, what do you believe? There's so many different angles. You got the people that's on the side of Dr. Fauci saying, yo, this shutdown might go on till 2022. Then you got people like Dr. Shiva saying, don't believe Dr. Fauci. He's full of fucking bullshit. And I guess he had like criminal charges like back in 2014 over some situation. I don't know it off the top of my head. You'd have to look that up. Look up Dr. Fauci and look up criminal charges. And then you'll find what you're looking for right here. You said they injected with the virus. Well, that's how vaccines work. And this is the thing, right? Here's the thing. This is the thing that don't make sense about vaccines. I'm glad you said that, Derek. They inject you with the virus so that your body builds up antibodies, right? So you develop a resistance to it, which makes sense. You want to expose yourself, so your body, because your body is the thing that actually produces the cure, that has the technology to produce the cure to these things. So we inject ourselves with the virus in order to build these antibodies, and I'm sure that's going to cost a lot of money. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of manpower, a lot of research. Well, if they're going to inject you with the virus, you know what's a lot cheaper and more practical and easier than injecting an individual with a virus? Especially some shit like this. I don't know. Being around people that are infected rather. This is my choice, right? I got a needle full of the COVID vaccine, which has the COVID virus in it, right? And I can inject myself with that shit to build up my antibodies to make myself immune to it. Or I could just be around motherfuckers that just live my life every day, and when I catch it, I just put myself, take myself home and take care of myself. Those are your two options. I think I'm gonna go with option number 2. Just be around motherfuckers. If they're gonna inject you with some shit, what's the point in catching the shit? That's all I'm saying. You see my boy Matt Jones. Matt Jones is an actual doctor. You know what I'm saying? So he could probably give you more insight than I can. When I talk about things like this, I just use logic. You know what I'm saying? 1 + 1 = 2. That's what I go off of. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going off of. Maybe a vaccine is a more potent, heightened up version of the vaccines. Maybe the vaccine they figured out how to take out elements of the virus that's actually damaged to make it less damaging to the body. I don't know. Just like methadone is a watered down version. Just like methadone is a watered down version of heroin. It has similar properties, but it's not as destructive, and it gradually takes you off. So maybe that's the concept. That's even more logic. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a math major. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of this shit, when you get information in front of you, right? And so you try to fill in the blanks, and you just ask questions. I'm not saying exactly what it is. I'm not saying I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I still have the ability and the cognitive and reasoning ability and logical and rational skills to ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? And ultimately, I ask questions so that if people actually do have answers, they can help me out with that. You know what I'm saying? Well, in actuality, it's XYZ, or it's blah, blah, blah. Instead of people like, oh my God, what is you saying? Oh my God, you swear you know everything. Like, acting like a bitch and just complaining just because somebody is trying to, get the gears turning. That doesn't really accomplish anything. Whining and oh my God and slapping foreheads and how could you, when fucking history has acted like a complaining ass bitch helped anything? Hasn't. Brainstorming. This is what we do. But the whole concept of they created a disease which kills you, and so they create a vaccine that's gonna kill you. That doesn't make any sense. That's lose-lose, man. I see it more or less. Well, they say if the vaccine. Now, this is one idea I can definitely entertain. If the vaccine has some type of nanoparticles in it or nanotechnology within it that can track us, then I get that. But the problem I have with that is that they don't need to put nanotechnology in us to track our movements and our whereabouts. They don't have to do that. And you want to know why they don't have to do that? Because the majority of first world human beings have what I'm using right in front of me, cell phones. What's the point in them putting chips in our bodies and nanoparticles and nanotechnology to track us and track our movements and our whereabouts when we do that shit ourselves? Even if you turn off your GPS, your geo tracker, you can still be tracked. If your phone is off, it can still be tracked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we already gave up our liberties. You know what I'm saying? We already constantly speak of our whereabouts. I'm using a GPS right now, and I'm going to a location right now to deliver something right now. You guys are talking to me right now. The video's going on right now. Most of us don't need any type of nanotechnology. And as for natives and aboriginal people and people that live in the forest and shit like that, they don't really pose a threat to society like that. So it's not necessary to track them. Just like it's not necessary to track gorillas and shit. We're already tracking ourselves, man. But with this virus situation, man, the one thing I continually stress is that, regardless of medicine and what treatment you can take and what treatment you can't take, and should you be listening to Democrats, should you be listening to Republicans, the one thing I think we can all universally agree with is that the first line of defense of any bacteria or any virus on this motherfucking planet is your own personal immune system. That's the first line of defense. And if that's one thing that we can all universally agree upon, then to me, the focus should be on how do we strengthen our immune system so that when this happens, because we all gonna come in contact with it one way or another. Even let's take COVID out of the equation. Whether you're gonna get the necessary it's actually necessary for human function. I apologize. Right? So we come in contact with these invisible creatures all the time, man. You know what's funny? We always say, oh, we're being invaded by aliens. We're being invaded by aliens. And we always assume that the aliens is this big creature with the big head that kind of look like me with slanted eyes and shit in spaceships, man. Who's to say that aliens aren't these viruses and these, damn near microscopic particles? Who's to say those aren't the aliens? You dig what I'm saying? And they're invading us. We're looking for this big old spaceship, but there's some shit, some microscopic shit that we can't see. They talk about like demons, and spirits and things of that nature. It's things you can't see. Viruses and bacteria are things that we can't see either. Who's to say these spirits and these aliens and these different beings are these microscopic things that we can't see? It's fucking destroying us, man. That's a whole other philosophical debate that we can go on like in a whole other tangent. It actually sounds like a dope ass concept for a fucking book, a science fiction book. I probably should work on it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's probably something I should work on. But I don't know, man. Like, to get caught up like in viruses and what treatment we should take and should we vaccine, man. I feel like even before you get to that point, man, just try to take care of yourself as much as possible. Give yourself a fighting chance, man. Try to take care of yourself as much as you possibly can, man. My heart goes out to anybody that passes away from this and anyone that loses family members, man. One thing I keep consistently seeing, and it's definitely there's definitely exceptions to the rule, but a lot of these cats I'm seeing dying is black men over 55, over 50, clearly out of shape, who seem like they're not taking care of themselves. And I'm a fat motherfucker. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the most optimally healthy person. But I tell you one thing: I don't drink, and I don't desire to drink. So that's huge. I could be eating better, but I don't eat processed food that much. I cook most of my stuff, and I'm very active as far as with this job that I do. But I could definitely push it harder. I can definitely stand and go running or at least walking in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I can stand to do a lot of things. But I drink a shit ton of water. I take vitamin C pills. I take gummies. I take vitamin C gummies. I think gummies doesn't sound as harsh as pills. But I take vitamin C gummies. I take B12. I take apple cider vinegar gummies. I take lisinopril, which is for blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? I take that. And I take zinc. I take zinc as well. If you can't stay up on your nutrition completely, take your pills, take your vitamins. You know what I'm saying? Take all those necessary things. Because you know what? It's hard to get every single vitamin that you can possibly get in every single meal. Man. You have to be like some type of nutrition expert / chef in order to do that on a consistent basis every single day. But you can just go online, look up different pills or different gummies that you can take, different vitamins that I don't like calling them pills. To me, pills has a negative connotation. But look up different vitamins or supplements that you can take to help yourself, to put yourself in an immune system in a stronger position, so you can be more resistant to not just COVID, but just sickness in general. I rarely get sick, yo. You know what I mean? And this is something that we as humans should have been doing. You know, it shouldn't take like a tragedy or this pandemic in order for us all to do the right thing, man. It kind of reminds me like Noah's Ark. If you're familiar with the Bible, like Noah, for like 40 years or so, he was telling people it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to be this big flood. Now, at the time, if my biblical knowledge serves me correct, it had never rained before. It was always just like, it would just be like a mist. So if I'm not mistaken, so people didn't even really understand the concept of the rain. And Noah was telling everybody it's going to be a flood, it's going to be a flood. And like 40 motherfucking years went by. And he started gathering up all the animals into the ark. He built this huge ark, gathered up all the animals. The only people that believed him was his family. You know what? Then it started raining. And they were like, what the fuck is going on? And they started the water getting higher and higher past their ankles. Oh shit, you know, we should have came with you. We should have listened to you. You know, like this is something that you should have been doing for a long time. You know what I mean? You don't want to try to fix some shit when it's a crisis. That's like, I was about to be graphic, but I ain't gonna be graphic. I was about to give you like a sexually graphic analogy, but I'm not gonna get it. It's all about preventative. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being proactive, not reactive. You know, I just can't wait till this shit starts. I think it's gonna die. It actually, you know, has been dying down, even though people have been going through some shit. You know, for the world as a whole, it has been going down. It has been dying down, but we still got a ways to go, man. The scars have been done, man. Like, people have been hurt. You know, families have been torn apart. And it's some fucked up shit. It really is. Oh, give me a second. Let me drop this food off real quick. Hold on. Hey, I'm back. My bad. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, my bad. I had to drop off this run real quick, and now it's time to take another one. I'm gonna do about 2 more, then I'm done for the day. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of confusing, conflicting shit going on. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, in regards to like somebody creating the disease, and then the same motherfuckers that created the disease created the vaccine, and the one thing both have in common is they both kill us. That I don't really buy that. I don't buy that. That doesn't make no sense. That doesn't make. They both. It's like, so what the fuck could you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, we got to try to give ourselves some type of chance. Who do we trust? Who do we trust? What doctors do we trust? What politicians do we trust, man? You know what's funny? As many people that I hear like bash Trump and hate Holmes from all different walks of life, whether young, old, black, white, male, female, I hear the same amount of people praising Trump, saying he's the greatest president of all time. I hear that shit too, equally. Watch Young Pharaoh. Young Pharaoh, one of the deepest pro-black motherfuckers I've ever seen in my entire life. He's a young cat, but he's very knowledgeable, very well-read, very motivated, does martial arts, does the hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, is a YouTuber full-time, you know what I'm saying, and a father. And, yo, trust me, he's the most pro-black motherfucker you can ever see. That motherfucker loved Donald Trump. But then you can go Roland Martin, who acts like an Uncle Tom like a motherfucker, that hates Donald Trump. I don't know. I try not to get too emotionally and invested in politics, man. You know, Politics is the macrocosm. It's something that you can't, as an individual, unless you are trying to get into politics. Now, if politics is your bag, if that's something that you're really trying to get into, like you're trying to get into, like shout out to Nick LeBron, he was trying to get on city council or something. I can't. My apologies if I say the wrong office that he was running for or whatever. You know, if you're actually trying to change the system and go inside of it and do something about it, I can understand that. But we got too many fans who probably don't even vote. They just like it's just something to argue about on Facebook, man. Especially like the model type chicks are like, shut up. Like the chicks that's mad, sexy and beautiful and fine and shit, and showing pussy and ass cheeks, but then complaining about the government. Like, bitch, shut up, man. Make your titties jiggle. That's all you want to see. That was very, very, very misogynistic. I know that, but I'm not the first one that thought that. Man. Come on, keep it real. Keep it real. It's like a fine bimbo complaining about politics and talking about government policies. It's like a fat motherfucker talking about fitness and working out and shit. Man. No, nigga. We want to see you cook. You want to see you barbecue some shit, flambe some shit, and grill some shit. We don't want to hear about your kettlebell techniques. We don't want to hear about your lunges and you jogging. We want to know what the hell you put in grandma. What the hell did grandma put in her peach cobbler? That's what the fuck with the crumbs, with the crust on the top, with the granola top. That's what we want to figure out. We don't give a fuck about none of that other shit. Oh man. But yeah, I got some time. I'm gonna wrap you off a little bit. Matter of fact, you know what? How much time I got 19 minutes until I get to where I need to be. So I've said what I wanted to say on this particular video. I'm going back out and I feel like singing a little bit. I'm singing. All right? All right, peace.